Hello, this is Anon 6K. I would first like to have a moment of silence for Micheal Brown. This is to recap all that has happened at Ferguson. First, an unarmed 18-year-old boy was shot, with his hands raised, multiple times and was left to die. This man's name was Micheal Brown. He was going to college in 1 week. Quickly, cops set up a perimeter and roadblocks to slow down protesters. The police chief said that the body was sealed and a perimeter was set up quickly. This is in part a lie. A perimeter was set up quickly to prevent protesters but was left in a puddle of blood. This is a before photo. There is another with police tape and an officer standing about 5 feet away, but I couldn't find it. Afterwards, Anonymous made a promise saying if the Ferguson Police Department hurt or attacked any protesters that they would shut down all cyber resources, release cop intel and hack databases. As a result, the Ferguson PD stated that the officer attacked because he was wounded. Then the Ferguson PD started to try dispersing protesters by attacking them. They went and threw tear gas and shot rubber bullets at them. Anonymous followed through with their promise and released cop intel. Operation Ferguson posted, quote, in addition to the City of Florissant web servers, Anonymous has also shut down their email servers. Later they said that it wasn't even the cop that killed the man. Remember, before this they said it was a cop, he was just wounded. At this point it was one lie after another. Basically, if the saying "liar light their pants on fire" were true, their legs would be burned off at this point. Now that Anonymous has attacked Ferguson PD, they just go screw it and really attacked them then. It got to the point that the Ferguson PD was ordered to step down, and by my understanding FBI rolled in. However, this could be a misunderstanding and just be federal officers, which is more likely. And they really attacked the protesters at this point, arresting them. Someone posted a story saying a cop came up to him, smashed his head into a wall 3 times, the sarcastically apologized for it. Now protest is at an all-time high and protesters are even fighting back, and rightfully so. Protesters are showing up all over the United States. There was a march recently as well, with reportedly 400 people, maybe more. Also, as a result of the happening, one anonymous Twitter account was suspended. Just 1 out of 1,000 anons and anonymous pages, minimum. Tell me, what is that going to do? Operation Ferguson posted, quote, if the government shuts down your right to protest, remain calm, and shut down your government. That Beacon of Truth posted, quote, kinda sad that the US government forced Twitter to shut down anonymous account, but hey, ISIS terrorist accounts are cool. # not so free # USA. At Your News posted, quote, suspending one # anonymous account merely temporarily quietens one of a myriad of voices. We will not be silenced when it comes to # Ferguson. This is all that I'm aware of at this moment in time. Please do not go, because I have 2 videos to show for you after this. One is a statement from President Barack Obama on the matter, and the second is Micheal Brown's friend who was with him during the shooting. Also, feel free to repost this video if you want to spread the word. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Now, second, I want to address something that's been in the news over the last couple of days, and that's the situation in Ferguson, Missouri. I know that many Americans have been deeply disturbed by the images we've seen in the heartland of our country as police have clashed with people protesting. Today, I'd like us all to take a step back and think about how we're going to be moving forward. This morning, I received a thorough update on the situation from Attorney General Eric Holder, who's been following it and been in communication with his team. I've already tasked the Department of Justice and the FBI to independently investigate the death of Micheal Brown, along with local officials on the ground. The Department of Justice is also consulting with local authorities about ways that they can maintain public safety without restricting the right of peaceful protest and while avoiding unnecessary escalation. I made clear to the Attorney General that we should do what is necessary to help determine exactly what happened and to see that justice is done. I also just spoke with Governor Jay Nixon of Missouri. I expressed my concern over the violent turn that events have taken on the ground, and underscored that now's the time for all of us to reflect on what's happened and to find a way to come together going forward. He is going to be traveling to Ferguson. He is a good man and a fine governor, and I'm confident that working together, he's going to be able to communicate his desire to make sure that justice is done and his desire to make sure that public safety is maintained in an appropriate way. Of course, it's important to remember how this started. We lost a young man, Micheal Brown, in heartbreaking and tragic circumstances. He was 18 years old. His family will never hold Micheal in their arms again. And when something like this happens, the local authorities, including the police, have a responsibility to be open and transparent about how they are investigating that death and how they are protecting the people in their communities. There is never an excuse for violence against police or for those who would use this tragedy as a cover for vandalism or looting. There's also no excuse for police to use excessive force against peaceful protests or to throw protesters in jail for lawfully exercising their First Amendment rights. And here in the United States of America, police should not be bullying or arresting journalists who are just trying to do their jobs and report to the American people on what they see on the ground. Put simply, we all need to hold ourselves to a high standard, particularly those of us in positions of authority. I know that emotions are raw right now in Ferguson, and there are certainly passionate differences about what has happened. There are going to be different accounts of how this tragedy occurred. There are going to be differences in terms of what needs to happen going forward. That's part of our democracy. But let's remember that we're all part of one American family. We are united in common values, and that includes belief in equality under the law, a basic respect for public order, and the right to peaceful public protest, a reverence for the dignity of every single man, woman, and child among us, and the need for accountability when it comes to our government. So now's the time for healing. Now's the time for peace and calm on the streets of Ferguson. Now is the time for an open and transparent process to see that justice is done. And I've asked that the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney on the scene continue to work with local officials to move that process forward. They will be reporting to me in the coming days about what's being done to make sure that happens. Thanks very much, everybody.
Me and my friend, we was walking down the street in the middle of the street, and we wasn't causing any harm to nobody. We had no weapons on us at all. We just walking, having a conversation. No cars were blowing at us or honking at us like we was holding up traffic or anything like that. Now, a police officer squad car pulled up, and when he pulled up, these was his exact words. He said, "Get the F on the sidewalk." And we told the officer we was not but a minute away from our destination, and we would shortly be out the street. We was having a conversation, and he went about his way for about 1 or 2 seconds as we continued to walk, and then he reversed his truck, his car, and in a manner to where it almost hit us, and it blocked both lanes off the way he turned his car. So he pulled up on the side of us. He tried to thrust his door open, but we were so close to it that it ricocheted off us and it bounced back to him. And I guess that, got him a little upset. And at that time, he reached out the window. He didn't get out the car. He just reached his arm out the window and grabbed my friend around his neck and was trying to choke my friend. And he was trying to get away, and the officer then reached out and he grabbed his arm to pull him into the car. So now it's like the officer's pulling him inside the car and he's trying to pull away. And at no time the officer said that he was going to do anything until he pulled out his weapon. His weapon was drawn, and he said, "I'll shoot you," or "I'm going to shoot." And in the same moment, the first shot went off. And we looked at him. He was shot, and there was blood coming from him. And we took off running. And as we took off running, I ducked and hid for my life because I was feared for my life. And I hid by the first car that I saw. My friend, he kept running. And he told me to keep running because he feared for me too. So as he was running, the officer was trying to get out of the car. And once he got out the car, he pursued my friend, but his weapon was drawn. Now, he didn't see any weapon drawn at him or anything like that, us going for no weapon. His weapon was already drawn when he got out the car. He shot again, and once my friend felt that shot, he turned around and he put his hands in the air, and he started to get down, but the officer still approached with his weapon drawn, and he fired several more shots, and my friend died.